This is Eric, and I will be tying the extraterrestrial. It is a beetle pattern, and it is a size 12. And the first thing I'm going to do is cut a piece of foam that will be pulled over the back. And when I'm tying ants and beetles, to get the correct proportions, no matter what size I'm tying, I always cut the foam the width of the gap. So I'll hold that up and measure it. And that's the width of the gap. Now this fly has two pieces of foam, and I'm going to be gluing them together. I'm going to cut a thin strip of chartreuse. I'm going to take those two pieces, lay them together, and to make it a little easier for me, I'm going to hold that with the tweezers. Now I can open up the foam, and I can run some Zap-A-Gap right along that chartreuse. Now I can just fold them back together. And then we'll set that aside and let it dry. Now I'll go ahead and start some thread. I like to make a layer of thread as a base. Next I'm going to tie in the tail, which is some crystal flash fibers. I'll go ahead and clip those short. Then we'll grab our foam that's now dry. Go ahead and tie that down. Next I'm going to take some black ice dub. Dub that onto the thread. Spread that out and roll it on. This will make a nice shiny, sparkly underbody. Now we'll pull that foam forward, make a couple wraps. I'm using a little heavier thread because a fine thread sometimes cuts through the foam. Now I'm going to tie in some rubber legs. I'm going to cut those even. There's actually 4 of them. And as I'm wrapping, I always like to keep my finger on the far side of the foam so when I pull to tighten the thread, the foam doesn't spin around. Cut those. Now we'll tie some more legs on this side. Cut those legs to length. Next I'm going to take some sparkle emerger yarn and I'm going to tie that in on top. Add some sparkle, and it's also for visibility so we can see the fly when we're fishing it. Now I'm going to add a little bit more ice dubbing. Make a couple of wraps to hide the thread. I'm going to pull everything back, wrap in front for a head. Now I'm going to go ahead and whip finish. Pull everything back, whip finish. I'm going to cut the thread. Then we will add a little drop of head cement right on that knot. Next I'm going to trim this yarn off, and then the last step is to cut the foam, and I just slide my scissors down until I hit the eye of the hook, and that's where I cut. And there is the extraterrestrial.